Hi, my name is Katie Moyer. I am the founder of LiveYour10.com, and I'm going to share with you how to get over fear. But before I share the 3 tips about how to get over fear, number 1, what you need to know about fear is that fear is fear. And it's not relative, it's just a fear is a fear. So even though what you fear and what you're scared of might not be my exact fear or what I'm scared of, I can relate to you being scared because I've been scared. I've had my own fear. It's why I believe in the Live Your 10 mantra, because my 10 is not your 10. But yet we use this scale of 1 to 10. How hard do you think you're working? Because instantaneously in the moment, you know what I'm asking, but I want it to be subjective based on you, your body, where you're at, where you are in this moment, and be in the now, right here, right now. What is your 10? And that's the same idea behind fear. Fear, we all have it. We all fear something in life. It just depends on what we have faced in our lives, the experiences, the people, what we feed our minds to be able to overcome those fears. And so in this moment, I might fear something, but tomorrow I might not fear it, or I might not fear it as much, or I might do something super scary that builds my confidence a little bit so that I'm still scared of it, but I'm like, it's a good thing that I'm scared of it. It's a good thing that I have this fear because it means I'm about to experience something on the other side. And that is why you have to know that if you fear something, if you're scared to do something because it's new or you've never done it or you're wondering, do I have what it takes? Am I enough? If you're wondering that right now, I know what that feels like. I struggle with that every single day. But here are my 3 tips to overcome fear. Number 1, suck it up. Everyone experiences fear. Same here. There is going to be something new in your life that you're going to do tomorrow that you've never ever done before, or in a month, or in a year, or in 5 years. Why? Because hopefully you're a human being and you realize that life is going to change. And being vulnerable and doing new things is the only way to grow. And guess what? Being vulnerable makes you human. So suck it up. Fear is real, but fear is something that we all experience. And guess what? You're going to experience it in some way, shape, or form coming up. So you know what? You should just suck it up. Number 2, start to think about what's the worst that can happen. So I train a lot of group exercise instructors to teach their very first group exercise class. And they're super scared because it's new, and I know the exact feeling of teaching your first class. I was the person that I just wanted to get that first class over with so that it would be all uphill from there, right? I just wanted to get it done with. I had practiced as much as I could, and I was like, I just want to get this thing over with, and I just want to be in my groove. That's how I felt. Now, some people are just scared to jump off the building, but I was lucky enough to have someone who literally 2 hands shoved me off the building to go teach my first class. And honestly, I remember her talking to me so many times about, honestly, what's the worst that can happen? You're going to burn some calories and some other people are going to burn some calories. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. And even though I heard that, I didn't really know what that felt like, or I didn't really believe it, I should say, until I did it myself. I went and I taught that first class. And you know what? The worst thing that happened was some music came on and I thought, I don't even know what move to do to this. I practiced for 6 weeks. And I was like, jump rope, just jump rope. You know what the move was? It was this. That's what I forgot. Just a simple high-low jab, right? But you know what? That's the worst thing that happened. And at the end of class, nobody came up to me and said, you forgot something. Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, I was there for it. No, they all came up and they had great times. They smiled, they laughed, they had a good time. So that's what you need to think about. What's the worst that could possibly happen? Even if you're fearing public speaking, going out for a promotion, asking someone out on a date, you know what? Maybe if you don't ask this person out on a date, you weren't going on a date before, so what do you have to lose, right? Or you're going to put your name in the hat for a promotion. Well, if you don't put your name in the hat to begin with, how do they know that you want the promotion? So let's say you don't get it. Well, guess what? You don't have the promotion now. So if you put your name in the hat and you don't get it, what's the worst that could happen? You stay exactly where you are right now? Oh, okay. See where I'm going with that? And the 3rd tip, always think about what you're missing out on. And that kind of alludes to what is the worst that can happen and what are you missing out on? Because this past week I went to the Summit of Greatness with Lewis Howes, and I went by myself. I normally go to conferences where I go with someone. I room with someone, or I know there's going to be couple other people there that I can sit with, or people that know me so that I feel comfortable. I didn't know anyone going. It was a little nerve-wracking, but it also was an opportunity for me to be exactly who I am, be open to new experiences, and all I could think about was, but what would I miss out on by not going? I was so looking forward to a couple of the speakers. Some of the other speakers I didn't know, but I have been listening to the School of Greatness podcast for almost a year and a half now, and I did the Soga, and every time I listen to Lewis Howes, or the people that he speaks about, or this summit of greatness, this like community of people, I always walk away with a new idea, or feeling better than when I started, or all of a sudden I'm on a roll, and it's challenged my thinking, or it's challenged my ideas of what is possible for me. So I thought, gosh, I'm scared and I'm fearing going by myself. I don't know what that's going to be, but what's on the other side? What's on the other side if I don't go to this? What's on the other side? What's possible on the other side of this thing? If I just face my fear and I just suck it up, and what's the worst that's going to happen, and what am I going to be missing out on? And that is truly why I decided to go to the Summit of Greatness, and it was awesome. I love the speakers. I am like just, I am like ready to rock and roll, but I would have missed it. I would have missed all of it if I didn't sit there and just think, you know what? I know I'm scared. I know I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go. But I went because I kept telling myself, think about what you're going to miss out on. What's on the other side of this? What is a new potential that I could reach? What is a new height I could reach? What are some new ideas and thoughts, and getting outside of my industry and the people that already know me? What is on the other side? What's possible by facing this fear? And that is what motivated me beyond belief to be able to do what I did. And I went to the Summit of Greatness by myself, and it was 110% worth it. I am so glad I faced the fear. I went to a conference on my own, and I did it. And because of that, I can say I have to face the fear every single day. So back to the very beginning of this where I said fear is fear. It is not relative. It's just fear is fear. It's just like my 10 is not your 10, but I know how hard it is to get to your 10, and I know how hard it is to get to my 10, and we have to overcome a lot of things. You're going to face fear in life. It's inevitable. So what are you going to do? You're going to suck it up, and you're going to be vulnerable because you're human, and you're just going to admit that you're going to feel that fear. And then you're going to ask yourself, but what's the worst that could happen? Because there's probably nothing that is that monumentally traumatic that will happen if you don't do it. And what's worse, the third question that you got to ask yourself is, what would I be missing out on? What is on the other side of facing this fear? What is going to be possible by facing this fear? And hopefully that motivates you to go out there and face your fear. And if you enjoyed this video, or you found these tips helpful, go to liveyour10.com and figure out what I mean by living life at a 10, and download the 10 steps to living your 10 so that I can help you live life at a 10.